In this video, you're going to see a plane that I have personally paid for to make sure I can be as educated as possible for my real estate startup. If you want to fly with me as we look at real estate, you shadow me for a day, click the first link in the description down below and you could join me as we tour America to find the best areas to invest. In this video, you're going to see what it's like when Meet Kevin goes to a new area he's never been to before for looking at real estate, and you're going to find out what questions he asks and what he looks for when he looks at an area for the first time. Hey everyone, it's Meet Kevin. Yeah, seriously, this is the first time I'm going to this area. I don't know everything. I don't profess to try to get everything done in one trip. My belief is I have to visit the same area probably 20 to 30 times before I would ever even feel comfortable pulling the trigger on a property, and I'll be doing that in the top areas that I choose. But this video is day one of hunting for the areas to narrow down. Do I even want to remotely consider this area, or are we ruling it out? We're going to be visiting potentially 100 to 200 different cities. We're going to narrow that list down to maybe about 20, and then we'll double and triple visit those so we can narrow that list down and ultimately get to 3 or 4 markets that we are going to start expanding HouseHack into, which is my real estate startup. Go to househack.com to learn more. Let's get started. Something to keep in mind out here is obviously it gets hotter in the deserts. So if you look at 1950s homes in Ventura, California, let's say, there's no insulation in the walls on a lot of these homes. Out here, which isn't a big deal out there because weather is not really that much of an issue. Out here, where you've got a lot of dry heat, you're not going to want to air condition the inside of a home to 70, 72 degrees. If you even go that low, if the ACs will pull them that low, probably replace them often. You don't want to go that low and then not have insulation in the walls. So you probably want to focus on newer here, 90s plus, well insulated. The newer the homes get, the more insulated they are. People always say like, Kevin, they don't build them like they used to. You're right, they build them way better. Now that's not always the case, don't get me wrong. There are corners cut all the time, but the bare minimum standards are so much higher today than what they used to be. So insulation for a dry, hot climate, important. Also, you get to Texas, you get like a really moist area. You got to be really cautious about those cool to hot areas, because then you create fungus growth. Another big problem. A lot of these things you don't have to deal with in SoCal because the outside is the same temperature as the inside for 90% of the year. It's crazy. What's the expectation for tenants and homeowners out here? I mean, if we're going for that family-friendly tenant, are they okay with this size, or is it just going to be reflected in the rent?
No, so in fact, one of the things that I've noticed is that it doesn't really have a huge price drop when it comes to the monthly rental.
You don't see much of a difference in if they have a larger yard but maybe tenant longevity out here?
Correct. So I actually own a rental like 3 miles away from here.
Oh, okay. Do you do management as well?
I don't do management.
Sure, that's all right.
For my own rentals, I do.
You do your own, yeah.
Yep. So with the lot size, it doesn't make a difference. A lot of times, like people that are going to be renting this type of property anyway, they don't want to deal with a huge lot.
Yeah, because you also have the weather out here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You got to change the grass twice a year. And
do people do that? They just resaw it?
They resaw it, so it's a winter, and then one for the summer if you want to keep real grass.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
no way.
Yeah,
oh, wow. And do you just let it die in summer, or is it just a different variety? Yeah.
I recommend to a lot of the landlords, if you're going to buy a rental, is turn it into like
turf
or gravel.
Yeah, okay.
For the maintenance of it, because it's not worth doing.
But so homeowners who want real grass, they have 2 different grasses.
Absolutely, yep.
Rent, you said on this one, 19 to 22 is sort of the range.
Correct, yeah, for this square footage, 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Okay, got it. What's your typical occupation out here? What do people do?
So a lot of tech is actually coming here, which is kind of interesting. So Carvana has their place in Tempe.
Well, they'll be bankrupt soon.
So
anyone else?
Well, for right now.
Yeah. For a while they're here.
They're the open door of cars.
Open door is going to be gone too soon. Closed door soon. Yeah.
It's interesting because you don't think of Arizona tech, but out in East Mesa area.
East Mesa, is that closer to the airport then?
No, and so you're going to head this way.
Okay.
And East Mesa is also another booming area, and one of the benefits to them is like Apple just signed a huge contract.
Oh, wow. In East Mesa?
In East Mesa.
Okay.
And the contract is with a company that actually does all their screens on their phones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So like a glass manufacturer or whatever. Oh, interesting. And so they have some kind of facility out in East Mesa.
Correct, yep.
Is that more than like warehouses and industrial maybe?
Correct. So you'll see that, but the warehouses are newer within the last couple of years.
Oh, nice.
So they're not like from like the 60s or 70s. They're actually newer built.
It seems like the older properties here, when you do have them, they were designed to be on their own, like 40 acres or something like that, huh?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So one of the first assumptions I had when I came here was that you'd probably, for rentals, want to stick with like 90s plus just for insulation and things like that. I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, you could. I think some of the things that you'll see though is like just like with any area, the older homes from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
They've been updated in that.
They've been updated, but they're also in better locations.
Oh, interesting.
Closer to the highways, stuff like that.
So one of the things in Vegas I found was that families seem to like move to the next new hot neighborhood every few. Does that happen here too, or are people actually still staying in the older neighborhoods?
Well, it's a combination of both, but the hot topic right now is Gilbert, specifically downtown Gilbert.
Okay.
So they've put millions into the downtown area.
Okay.
And right next to the downtown area are all the homes from the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
So you want to be close to downtown, you got to have a remodeled 50s.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
interesting.
So the farmhouse look, all that fun stuff is in downtown Gilbert.
The ranch styles and that.
The ones that do really well downtown Gilbert are the Airbnbs.
Okay,
Just
the ones close to downtown.
They're within walking distance, and those like really do.
Those do well. Is Gilbert pretty good about those? They license them, I imagine.
They are. One of the things here, just like with any, is like when you're starting to get into the HOA neighborhoods. Some of them have the restrictions.
The overlays.
Exactly. Yep.
Got it. Okay. And so, if you were going to do Airbnb, you want to be closer to downtown for Gilbert, at least. Is that also true of Chandler? Or how does that compare?
Yeah. So Chandler is like the brother of Gilbert.
Okay.
They've also put millions in their downtown area.
Okay.
And so it's like, so Gilbert actually started it, and then Chandler's like, oh, wait a second, what's going on?
We got to compete.
Yeah, and they're just like, here.
Oh, that's
and
funny.
They started pumping money in, and then parking garages, all that.
So Chandler, are we seeing anything close to downtown in Chandler?
Yes. So we are seeing a couple towards the Chandler area.
So we'll see an idea of that. Okay, cool. So this would be more of your typical, maybe they work at either the warehouses or the offices, and then, family with a kid or two, whatever, and
or 8.
Or 8. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You just rent out to, what are the occupancy limits? Yeah. Like you count, what is it, 2 for family room, 2 for living room, if they count. That's fine. So, okay, what about, commute? Do you ever get people that want to sell the homes here because they're like, oh, I'm too far from my work? Or do you not really see that?
Yeah.
There's not much traffic.
See that a ton.
Saturday though.
Yeah. No, I don't see that a ton because a lot of people, I think one of the big things that's happened in the last few years with Gilbert and Chandler specifically is the infrastructure of a lot of the large companies coming here, but then you also have a lot more shopping.
Yeah. Okay.
So for example, like if you lived in Gilbert at one point, you had to travel to Chandler to get to the Costco's and stuff like that.
I see.
Gilbert's taking care of all that.
Okay, got it. Okay, great. Well, let's take a look. Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
So, do you guys have termite issues out here? Because I see you have the aluminum patio cover, and oftentimes we see wood. They also look like that doesn't even look like it's part of this HOA. This looks so different. They've re-stuccoed this one. Oh, that's interesting. And they've also done when were these built? 90s? Yep. Okay. So they did some new retrofit windows. So for example, if we go further away from downtown, do you see sort of the pricing drop off
No, that's the interesting thing is like you don't, just because what's happened is that they've redone a couple of the big ticket highways here.
Okay.
They're called the 202 and the 101.
202, 101.
Okay, and the 202 for the longest time would cut off to a certain point when you're heading east.
Okay.
And they've actually created that highway to extend. And it actually loops you into the city of Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
So now you can take that highway
and that
all the way
starts
around
here somewhere?
Yeah, so you'll see the South 202 a few miles away. And then that has been a big deal because then it's allowed people from East Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler.
You have termite issues out here?
Absolutely, yeah. So if you don't
just
have
drywood
termites yet, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They cause a ton of...
None like damp wood, wet wood, none of that stuff, just dry wood. Okay. Oh yeah, pest control with tenants. How does that work?
You do, if you have a pool, they're going to pop up a lot more. But yeah, scorpions are one of those things where I have mine treated like every other month. I have a service come out.
Okay. Your rental or your house? Okay. And then how much of a requirement are pools out here?
Well, you'd get you're a couple $100 more per month if you have a pool.
15% of people have pools where we are.
Yeah.
If here is probably gonna be 50% maybe.
I'd say like 60.
60%. Okay.
I feel like I'd worry about liability. Isn't that?
That's another thing you have to kind of balance out is the liability part of it too.
Yeah.
Just lower the deductible. Ideally want to time the bulk of our buys towards probably the summer, towards the end of the year, because that's when we think, we kind of see the market still doing this, right?
7 months now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How has that been for you guys? Like, what are you guys noticing?
So I had to work through 08 and 09.
Okay, so you felt similar issues.
Well, I knew this was going to come.
Yeah.
If you've gone through that, that's like our depression. So
yeah.
One of the things is the decline's still happening.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that won't happen. I don't think it's going to go to the pricing like it was a third of the price in 08 and 09.
Oh yeah, not that much.
I think it's just like we were overinflated for the past 2 years because of low interest rates. I think it's correcting itself.
Right.
The hard part to predict is when do we hit bottom?
Right.
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 And so I think there's ways to go.
Yeah.
Because it took a couple of years to get here.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a couple of years to readjust.
That's a good point. Well, even in 09, 08, gosh, the market, I think, peaked, at least in our area, around 06. And it really didn't bottom until 11. Yeah. I mean, and for us, we're looking at that as like, boy, if we wouldn't mind a 5-year process where we can buy. I mean, we would just keep buying. This is a great place. Yes, Mr. Jack.
Why is the chandelier so low?
Oh, because a dining table would usually go there. But right now, it's designed so you hit your head.
Oh.
Oh, I love it. The carpet in the bathroom, got to get rid of it. But it's so perfect because you get home buyers who come in here, they're like, the room is so dark. Yeah, because the paint is dark red. Oh, there's carpet in the bathroom. Replace it. I love it. Yeah, but don't waste water. We need that out here. Oh, a good trick, we've done this before, is this is the delamination of these mirrors here, Jack. What we'll actually do, you can't feel it, it's from the back. What we'll do is we'll put like a little strip of molding around it, 2 or 3 inches, and it actually makes it look like a custom mirror without taking that mirror off. How cool is that? All right, so we got our master over here, vaulted. That's nice. This makes it feel a little larger. And garage is, it is a finished garage. Hey, it's a fully finished garage. That's great. Okay. And well, so a lot of garages in like 80s and beyond, you wouldn't have drywall in there. And I don't imagine it. Are the garages insulated here? I don't imagine.
Some of them, but not.
Yeah. Okay. That it wouldn't be so much expected. But it gets so dusty when they're not finished. Just in the garage, you get the studs out there, and so.
This reminds me of Lucerne.
Yeah, it kind of does. Also another thing is the bull-nosed edges was this big thing in the 90s. Now we're back to doing the sharp edges. Ooh, green carpet too. And 2 bedrooms over here.
It's Dad's favorite color.
I wouldn't pick this variety of green, but I do like green. All right, great, let's go to the next one. Here we have an example of 3 different styles of Arizona turf. Choice 1, rock. Choice 2, pink rock. Then we go over here and you have choice 3, dead turf. And then you have choice 4, fake turf. Those are the 4 choices you have in Arizona. Which do you like? Comment below. One of the best agents you can get is an agent who's also an investor because they believe in investing in the area and they make personal decisions. They know personal vendors. Those are the people you want in your network. So if you're an agent, you should also be investing in the product you're selling. I saw lakes when I took a wrong turn.
There's a ton of man-made lakes here, a ton. That's super popular.
Do they ever like dry out?
No.
Can you swim in them?
No, they're chemical, so they're like for fishing and boating.
Wait,
like
you said they're
trolling.
chemical what?
They have like a ton of chemicals in them, so they're like a weird blue color. You'll also see in Gilbert and in Arizona in general, there's like a church every block.
Is everyone Mormon?
Yes, so many. So
Wait,
like
it's a heavy Mormon
so
pop.
you know how like they have like the Bible Belt in the eastern United States?
No, I never heard of that.
So it's like called the Bible Belt. It's like where a lot of Christians are, a lot of evangelists are.
Okay.
So in the Church of Jesus Christ, they have something called the Book of Mormon Belt, where it's Idaho, Utah, Arizona.
I've seen that play.
Yeah, so it's like that. It's like the Bible Belt, but the Book of Mormon Belt.
Wow.
So Arizona's like 3rd or 4th most populated state for members of the church.
9 days ago, and they dropped the price from $490 to $425. Holy smokes! Yeah, see now this is where the prices start getting juicy again. Let's go talk to, this is a good catch. All right, number 2. That's exciting. All right, let's take a look. Go ahead, guys. It's vacant, right? Well, you guys can go run around and then go to the park.
Yay!
Okay. So interesting. This is a pretty small front family room. And then here's I guess this would be more your living room. Interesting. Okay. So now this one, they started at $490 on this one, huh?
Yes, and in January they would have got it.
In January 2020.
Oh, 2022.
2022. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And so they've been on for almost 6 months here.
Yeah.
Okay, meticulous home in the Willows. So on the way over here, we noticed it was getting newer.
Yes.
Okay, is that a big attraction to
Absolutely. And so I don't know if you guys took Ray Road, but there's the Top Golf that was just put in a couple of.
That's like the 3-level golf.
When you get Top Golf,
Yeah.
you're golden.
Oh, interesting. That's the sign that you're.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. It's not a surprise it's not kept up because I don't know that anybody's actually really using this, huh? This is like something you park a little barbecue here on and you spend most of your time inside. That makes sense. How often do you guys have AC issues and maintenance? Like, so I imagine in the summer, you're running them all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. You can't even sleep without it. So the big thing is specifically with the rentals, every 6 months, just getting it serviced.
Oh, really?
Yes,
oh, you
every
just
6 months.
preemptively service these
Absolutely.
things?
Yep. On my rentals, it's every 6 months.
Wow.
Because if there's 2 things that always are going to be a huge issue with rentals, which you probably know, here's AC units and roofs.
Wow.
Those
Okay.
2 are main. If you're a landlord,
that's
too,
incredible.
if for some reason your AC breaks in the summer,
Oh, you're gonna get ripped off.
well, you have to pay for the tenant's hotel stay.
No way.
yeah,
Oh, so
until-
the AC goes down. You're putting people in a hotel.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not very large down here.
No, we were talking about this last time. Is that with the newer homes,
You're getting
you start
smaller.
seeing stuff becoming smaller.
It's surprising because I thought, okay, more land out here, we'd be seeing larger, right? That's interesting. But now you mentioned that you're not seeing more turnover because of that. People are used to that.
No, so the guy that was just here, he's the real estate agent listing it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So he had mentioned that his last tenant was here for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And then again, my couple of rentals, I've had the same tenant for like 6 years.
That's incredible. So this is probably going to go out for somewhere around 4. They should just go to $399 and try to get somebody right
Yeah, because then
away.
you have the other set of buyers right under 4.
Yeah, exactly. Open that pool up. But beyond that, this is nice. The hinges are newer. You get the nice 2-panel doors. People go crazy. They spend money on like solid core doors. Like nobody cares. People don't even know. Unless you're a homeowner who's trying to just waste money. Those are the only people who care about that. Easy. One of the things I found with these ceramic bowls is the water just eats them away. And that's what's happened here in this one. Do y'all have hard water out here?
Yeah, your water is really bad out here.
So you do water softeners out here too?
Yeah.
Thumbs up or thumbs down from the kids on the park? Did you see the inside the house?
Only the downstairs.
Yeah, I was surprised. It's a little bit on the smaller side downstairs.
What year is it?
2011?
Yeah, that's surprising. And that's what, so McKay was saying that, or is this true that the new construction homes, they're only 3 inches or they're not making like...
This was a 4.
No,
This
I know,
was
but like for your new construction or the most newest construction.
They're 3 and 4.
3, 4, okay.
I was surprised by how small the kitchen was. And I didn't see upstairs. But.
I mean, and obviously if I would imagine if you just go to 2,400 square footer, you're paying $600K, but now you're getting the larger space.
How many square feet?
This is 1,600.
Oh, okay.
So they are more, you're fitting 4 into 16. Maybe it makes more sense.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I did think.
Well, especially, and I already forgot what year. Did you say 2011? 11, yeah. I mean, to me, like, that seems like at least it should be a bigger kitchen, right?
I thought so, but then again, maybe that's just the square footage we're looking in.
Yeah.
The longevity of tenants has actually been really good out here.
I could see it. I have a vibe of it being very family friendly, and I think that people want that community feel, so they stick around for that especially.
Yeah. Do you ever have crime issues in these?
So Gilbert's one of the safest in Arizona. But interesting thing, 2 years ago, Gilbert was actually voted the #1 family-oriented city.
In Arizona?
Yeah, and it was a big deal here, and everyone was
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
yeah.
Are people coming then from like New Mexico or Phoenix or where? Cali. That's where.
Everybody. I'm like, what's going on in California?
Yeah, Newsom.
Yeah.
I think
All right.
to have the family friendly aspect because the families want to stay grounded and rooted and not move a lot.
Well,
so-
yeah, because
Like I
then
said, all the high schools, like once you get your kids in one high school, you don't want them to leave. And high schools are a big pride thing here, so you want to see your kids all the way through high school.
And
so
stay in the
families
same
don't wanna
district
leave.
and you get the families here. Yeah. Because then people have kids and then they're like, oh my gosh, we wish we had more people.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's go to the next one.
All right.
Hey.
Jack.
People are intrigued why like Open Door and OfferPad and all those iBuyers start here. This is always like the testing grounds.
Oh, they start here.
Yeah.
Well, so now they're selling here.
They're unloading here now.
Yeah.
But one of the things, the reason for that is it's one of the very few cities where the same county, you can get to any particular city within 30 to 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And that's very intriguing for them, especially when they...
For finding workers or whatever. Now we're in Chandler. I have no idea what to expect in Chandler, but supposedly it is a sister city of Gilbert. It did look like the median income of Chandler was about $2,000 less than what you get in Gilbert. Median income's about $44 in Gilbert. Here it's about $42,500. Okay, only $1,500 difference. However, Scottsdale, $49.2 thousand. Then you go to Phoenix or Mesa, only 31.6. So big differences in median income. Very interesting. We're looking at the middle right now. Phoenix being low, Scottsdale being high, this being the middle. Okay. Sweet. Larger single story.
Yes.
Thanks, Phil. Nice. I smell the fresh paint. Yeah. They did my favorite part for me. That's interesting. They painted but left the kitchen cabs. Hey, quick interjection and reminder to check out HouseHack.com. We're going to be opening that up for non-accredited investors within the next couple of months, which we're really excited to do. If you are an accredited investor, you get some benefits like extra free warrants if you decide to invest early. Check that out and learn more by going to HouseHack.com. We'd love to have you. Here you actually have a yard. Got pretty much nobody who can really look in. I don't know if that's a bedroom. That looks like a staircase window up there. Christian, you can see that window there with the circle window on top. Usually that is a staircase. Usually, not always, but I generally don't see those little half circles in bedrooms. So you do have a busier road here. What? This is one we pulled in on, I think. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so you've got no one behind you. You've got some kind of park or something back here. Okay. So this looks like a jacuzzi pad or something here. I don't see any power though. Something that does affect longevity for tenants is if you could hear a lot of road noise, people could tend to leave. What are you doing, Jack? Jack, there's no pool. You said there was a pool.
I thought there was.
You were wrong. It probably said pool. No. So for 100 grand, you're looking at $400 to $500 more in rent. So that might be why, see, that's probably what we were feeling is that maybe people want the bigger space. And so you're actually seeing a disproportionately higher rent because of that. Like if I don't know if I divided it out. I'll play some math on it. Jack, I saw it. That's interesting. So the one that's, but then again, there's a 2151 over here. Why did that one rent so little? That's interesting. See, because this is our neighborhood. That one rented for $350 less. Oh, and it's active actually. It's active so low. I wonder if it's vacant. Maybe we can see it. See what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they epoxied the floor, Jack. You see how it's painted with flakes and it's gray? That's called epoxy paint. And if you don't prime it well, it'll peel up. Those lines, the expansion joints, yeah, you do that with concrete so it doesn't crack.
And also, you can see some of the garage.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fix that. That's unacceptable. Yeah, I actually like screen doors like this. See, this is not just your typical screen door, it's also a security door. Which then you wonder, is there more crime? But you got the double deadbolt, which I saw they did that in the garage as well. And usually you'll have the flippy thing here. The double key deadbolt is interesting because then you can lock people inside. Maybe it's Andrew Tate's house.
You're downtown Chandler?
Somebody want
What? Yeah. Is the crime different here? So you got the fake security camera. You got the double deadbolts everywhere. You got the security door. They got a security door too?
Yeah, slightly less. I would say less.
I love the fake security camera.
Yeah.
There's no way it's real. That's like one of those $12 stick-ups to make.
They sell them at Home Depot.
Yeah. Any difference in crime that you've noticed between the two? So I'm just I saw this one, garage and here, They locked it both ways like this. So you lock from the inside. They got the fake security camera. They got, you know, like they got the security door over there.
Gilbert's less crime.
Oh, okay.
It's also newer.
Oh, okay.
Chandler butts up against the old part of Mesa. The median income is like one of the highest.
Oh, that's your highest zip code right here. Interesting. That's not Satan Village, but what do people call it out here? Santan. Yeah, okay. My dad was just saying that if you have a lot of rocks in the front, you're reflecting maybe more heat against the house. So maybe a strategy is the part that's close to the house, you have a little bit more turf. I don't know the science on that. That would be interesting to look into. It's a theory. We'll look into it. All right, well, let's go.
In Germany, it's prohibited.
You can't do rocks against the house because of that?
Yes, but not in this size anymore.
What do you mean the size?
You have to have some green on that between.
Oh, you're saying like it can't all be rock. Like you have to have some
Correct.
green in there. Okay.
Correct.
Oh, that's it. Because of heat.
The heat, and it reflects the environment. It's not good for the environment.
Oh, interesting. Contributes to global warming.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Now these houses look nice. See, the problem though is as soon as you have one person in the neighborhood with a 3-car garage, everybody's jealous of the 3-car garage person. This is what I was talking about though. See, you do a lot of rock. See, they did rock over there where it doesn't matter. You got a little seating area, brilliant. That's another way you can separate up the front yard. The walkway, rock, and then some grass. Even how they cut it off over here, brilliant. This is a very nice front yard. So you've lowered your actual total sod by 60%. You know, the other stuff you don't even have to replace. It's just there for the next 20 years. This is great. This is a really good example. I mean, they could have even come down another, you know, chunk over there, but it looks great. That's nice. See this, I don't know, too rocky. I don't know, my take. So offer pad sign right here. When I got in the business, there's Lauren, she can corroborate this. When I got in the business and I started working for my father-in-law's real estate brokerage right as he was kind of getting ready to retire, I'm like, you know what I need to do is I need to change the name of my father-in-law's biz to Pad Realty. And he's like, no, Dad, no way. And then it's like, I don't know, I wouldn't have used Pad Realty again, but it's funny, now there's a company called OfferPad and I'm like, that's close to what my idea was. So so Pad Realty is an iBuyer or OfferPad or whatever?
Yeah, they're competing against Open Door.
Okay.
And they don't do this type of upgrades to any of the properties. They were just overpaying for them, and a lot of the residents already had this done, all the upgrades.
Oh, so they were buying fixed up places basically.
Everything.
That's dumb.
So one of the things that happened is like over the past couple of years, they had like really strict criteria of where they would buy.
Right.
And when the market got so hot,
right,
that went away and they were just buying everything.
They just bought everything.
Exactly. It didn't matter the location, price point.
Well, that's why they're knocking on the door of bankruptcy now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So they didn't actually do this work.
No.
They bought this from somebody else who just did the work. This is a brand new kitchen. They glazed
There's a spider!
Oh my gosh. This used to be that ivory kind of yellowed bathtub. They glazed the whole thing. It looks great.
How do I turn this on?
Wow.
Jack, don't. Yeah, why not?
Why can't I turn it on?
Jack,
like
we're not here, okay? We don't want to do it.
Mommy, see, Mommy.
We did retile, that's true, yeah. Jack, please stop turning the water on, okay? This is all glazed too. This is all that old marble, the yellowed or whatever. But I don't think they did the best job. This is a little, you can see it's a little speckled, but this whole sink, everything, they just glazed all of this together. I mean, it looks good, but they could have done a better job. It just feels it feels like rough sandpaper. Not that so much matters, but yeah, they glazed this too. See, what's funny is you can actually see in the drain how it got painted. The drain got painted as they went to glaze it. They took off the screens. I haven't seen that system before. So you screw it in this way and then just tighten it in. Yeah, slap it in, tighten the screw, done. Huh, as opposed to actually sitting in the frame of the window. Yeah, I mean, something like this is moving ready. The gold mine is if you could find something like this that's a fixer, you have to be fast. You have to be there that day for the 2000 to 2015 style properties because they just sell so fast. But that's okay, we can do that. All right, this is nice. See, those kids are crazy, man. You guys are nuts.
I'm allergic
Oh yeah, it is a double master. See, that is nice. Lauren's right. That really sets you up for, you have a guest bath, you have a double master, sets you up for a roommate situation potentially. I don't know if we would go for a 2-bedroom ourselves, but certainly if we could find something in an area like this where if we can get a fixer-upper, they're coming. They're coming. Now, it's also interesting. They painted the baseboards here the same color as the walls. I'm not a big fan of that blend-in style, but they're doing that with the door frames here as well. So, see, this is a good example, again, of that, the way you can style a backyard without having so much rock. So I had no idea what to expect in Arizona. So I came to Chandler and Gilbert, and the first thing I needed was an amazing realtor. And I found one. He's right here. Phil, introduce yourself, shout yourself out, Instagram, phone number, put it out there.
Really simple. It's Phil Shaver. I work all of East Valley, Gilbert, Chandler. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram, Phil Shaver, AZ.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. You've been so helpful teaching me about the different areas, about the different customs. Tenants, you do rental property as well. So useful. When you're looking for a realtor, it's a really good idea to find somebody who also has rental property. That way, if you ever have to rent out a home, you got somebody who's got experience. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now, before we left, we had to stop by and visit an actual local resident of Gilbert. We also looked at this beautiful new litter of Labradoodle pups that were born. We showed those to the kids. We had pizza with them. We hung out with them outside. We learned about the areas. We learned about room rentals that they do in their own rental properties in other areas, and various information about the local community. So getting to know an area isn't just about looking at homes. It's not just about understanding, okay, I got to find a fixer. It's about knowing which areas do you want to focus on. How much can you learn about everything involved around that area, the people, what do people do, why do people come, why do people leave? And then when a fixer-upper comes up in that neighborhood, that's what you end up striking on. For example, a lot of the homes that we saw on that trip were not fixer-uppers, but that's okay. We can look at other properties to understand them in the neighborhood, and then we can look for fixers within those. For example, there was one neighborhood where the kids were playing at the park, a fixer that came up in that 2011 neighborhood. I potentially wouldn't have to go out there to look at it. I could just buy it blindly because I know it's a 2011 property and I already know the neighborhood. Whereas other neighborhoods, I could say, hey, that's a good deal, but I don't want to own in that neighborhood, or I don't want to own up against that busy road. But you have to start by understanding the area first, becoming a local expert, and making sure everybody in that area knows you and you're there regularly. All right, Lauren, Gilbert, Mesa, Phoenix, Chandler, what did you think?
I was really surprised. I actually was kind of like not super optimistic going into, like, I never heard of Gilbert, Arizona before. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised with how it gave me a really nice family vibe. There were a lot of really, really great neighborhoods. And then they have like these central parks within each neighborhood, which is just like a playground, a volleyball court, a basketball court, things like that. And it just really adds to the family vibe. I think with those types of cities like Gilbert, where it has that family vibe, it encourages people to lay their roots and kind of stay there for a while, as opposed to a city where maybe there are constantly new developments and people are always chasing the next nice new development. So with that, I think that, you know, people are likely to stay longer, which is just generally good with buying and then renting out or whatever you may do.
Well, like you mentioned, when people put their roots down, they also get their family, their in-laws, their parents, or whatever close to them and their families. We also learned that the best pool to own is not your own pool. So have an HOA that has a pool.
Community pool,
And I guess out here they do high schools that have water parks attached to them, and then they open them up to anybody who wants to use them in the summer.
That was another thing too, when you said high school. We were educated that, you know, with laying your roots, you really want to maintain this school district. So you want to stay in the same district, have your same peers through your school years. So I don't know, I just really think that generally we should look for this type of real estate market, basically family friendly, so we don't have a lot of turnover.
Yeah, exactly. And then long-term rentals until we can be certain that we're not running into an Airbnb bubble. That's the last thing you want. But I'll tell you right now, rents are still at a level where you can buy a property cash and actually get a pretty solid cash-on-cash return, especially if you get a wedge deal and you avoid the crazy financing that everybody else is paying. So your cash-on-cash return for safe, stable, long-term real estate, actually pretty impressive. We'll run some numbers, but I was pleasantly surprised, much like you.
Me too, yeah. And
thanks,
I mean,
Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, as a another added thing, which I think is important for education, is that, you know, with the states that have maybe more perks for tax savings or lower costs to live or buy or whatever it may be, there usually is a reason why. And for this, it's 3 months is very, very, very hot. But I think, I don't know, when you go back to the roots of it being family, I think that, you know, yeah, they have hotness and other places have snow. Just, you know, people have their stuff. And
Everything's got a plus and minus, but you know what? They don't have to deal with earthquakes, and I don't believe they have to deal with fires because there are only rocks to burn out here.
Yeah,
there's no vegetation.
Yeah,
so.
no, generally just very, very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
If I, you know,
And no Newsom.
I mean, yeah. So yeah, I liked it. It was fun.
Thanks for coming on the first trip.
Of course.